I've been using this Gonzo G201 multi-tool around the house for a couple of days. I just want to give you a quick first impression of what I think of it. I can't give you a full-on review yet just because I haven't really used it enough. But I could easily show you the different features that it has, what kind of stuff that I've done with it, what I like and what I don't like about it so far. This is the G201 from Gonzo Tools. There's a smaller one that I got, which is the Gonzo G101. Very similar in design. In fact, it's like the little baby. I mean, if this one were to have an offspring, obviously this will be it. I'll do an overview of this too in a few, but this one is about the big one. Just quickly, I think the build quality is really nice. I don't know what steel it uses. I'm assuming it's some kind of 420, 440 type stainless steel. The jaws on this needle nose is really solid. I like how it's spring-loaded, so you can really use that to chew on some wires, bend some wires, maybe you know, if you're cutting some chicken wire, turning on some nuts with these jaws, these bigger jaws on the inside. It should work really well, and I can squeeze pretty hard on this and I don't feel much flexing, so that's good. I'm going to show you a quick size comparison. I'm going to compare this to my Old Faithful Leatherman PST2. This is the second ever Leatherman. PST stands for Personal Survival Tool, I believe. Okay. In the closed position, the Gonzo 201 G201 dwarfs the PST2. It completely shadows the PST2 in this profile. And from the side profile, it's probably wider by maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe more. And it's significantly heavier. See if I can roll in the scale, give you some weight comparisons. Okay, and let's go to ounces. Just tool by itself, 9.55 ounces. The tool inside the sheath is going to come in at 13.5 ounces, and that's big. That's a big tool. Compared to the Leatherman PST2, that's 5.3 ounces. Inside the leather sheath, 6.27. So we're talking more than twice the weight. So we'll have to see if it has twice the capability. So let's do a quick comparison. I would say the needle nose pliers on the Gonzo tool is going to be sturdier. It's going to be more capable for larger tasks. However, the point on the needle nose is also maybe 3 to 4 times bigger. So it's great for big tasks. Obviously, this is going to be great for smaller tasks, which I guess depending on what you're using it for, if you're using it to do kind of yard work, you know, stuff around the house, rather than kind of tiny, you know, electronics, little screws, you know, this might not be the right tool. So I have to say that this is capable, very capable for what it is. Okay, so now let's go into the sides here, see what we've got inside. There are 4 tools on each side. So being this big, it doesn't really have that much stuff. I have to say on this side, you see there's these 4 tools. There's some spaces in here where they could have fit more blades in here, and they chose not to do that. I don't know why. Maybe it's partially because of the weight issue. I don't know. But on the other side, you can see it's pretty packed full. There's not hardly any space in between these blades, whereas here we got plenty of space. Okay, so first things first. First blade here is a sort of a modified clip point serrated blade. This will be good for cutting through rope, maybe some, if you're stabbing, if you're trying to punch a hole in something, that'll be good for that. Next one is a can opener, bottle opener. Pretty solid, there's no wiggle at all. And then the next one, we're talking about a screwdriver. Obviously you can use this to pry things as well. Seems sturdy enough for small tasks to pry, but obviously it'll work really well as a screwdriver. And then the last blade on this side is sort of a sheep's foot design with a sort of a small, real modified sheep foot with a small belly, plain edge blade. Reasonably sharp. Okay, so that's what we got on this side. On this side, one gripe that I have on this is that these are, probably because it's new, it's kind of hard to get these out. If you didn't have any nails to be able to grab onto these lips, you're not going to be able to get them out. So that's one little thing, but that may not be an issue over time. It'll loosen up. Okay, so this saw blade is actually really nice, and the way that it's cut, it's very aggressive, and I can kind of see this thing saw through, you know, a fair size piece of wood, and they're sort of angled towards the back. So I think this saw blade appears to be very capable. And the next one we've got sort of like an awl with a sharpened edge. If you're you know, stabbing through a piece of leather, maybe you're trying to, you know, weave some leather, sew them into pieces, maybe this will be a good tool for that. It's a little bit big, and the fact that it's sharpened, it's kind of nice. You can use it to do some cutting tasks. Third piece on this side, see what I mean? This is really hard to get out. Let's see. Sometimes it helps to get these other blades out of the way to get this one out. Okay, here we go. Now this is the driver. This is where the capabilities come in for this multi-tool. It comes included with the driver and a bunch of bits. All these bits sit right inside the back of the sheath, which is pretty cool. And it's magnetized, so it stays in. We've got 4, 8, 11. We got 11 bits here. 3 Phillips, 3 flat, and 5 Allen. So this is pretty much like a complete screwdriver set, which is kind of nice for a tool like this. You can buy this as an option for some Leathermen, but obviously that's going to cost you in addition to what you pay for the Leatherman itself. So you know what you get for, I believe I paid something like $20-25 tops for this. For what you get for the price, this is a really good deal. And this driver is real solid. Seems real capable. And obviously you can sort of get some more torque, you know, when you have to turn something like this by pulling out one of the handles. And this is This feels really good, really solid, so I don't feel like I'm going to break it at all. And then last but not least, on this side here, we have scissors, which I think is really cool. That in this particular multi-tool, you've got pliers and scissors. So if you had to cut something with scissors, you don't have to go to a knife. And I'm okay with multi-tools not having fast deployment knives, just because I'm always gonna have at least one other knife on me that I can deploy quickly. So the fact that it has scissors just adds that much more capability to this multi-tool. So again, this is the Gonzo G201. First impression, so far so good. The only other gripe, besides the size, besides these tools, a little bit difficult to deploy initially. We'll see how it goes over time. Is that these wire cutters tend to be spaced out a little bit too far apart. So for small pieces of wire, it tends to not cut as easily. But again, this is going to be for larger tasks, cutting larger wires. I don't see that being a problem at all. So for $25, I would say if you're short on cash and you want a big multi-tool with a lot of capabilities without having to buy a lot of extra accessories, this is the way to go. This is a good option. Comes with everything you need. The sheath, the screwdriver bits, and a big 13.5-ounce package. The Gonzo G201. Thanks for watching.